Thanks for your question. I've long been a supporter of renewable power tax credits. When I was in Congress, I voted to extend the tax credits and would do it again if sent back to Washington, D.C. You know, it's unfortunate the current Congress, Mark Udall and the rest of them, Nancy Pelosi and the rest of them back there in Washington, they took a 5-week vacation, left the Congress without renewing the renewable tax credits. And it's unfortunate to consider that those tax credits might possibly expire. You know, in the private sector, I've worked for an energy company that has been a producer of wind energy, a developer of wind projects in the United States. And so I understand these tax credits from a business side as well as from a public policy side, being in business and formerly in the United States Congress. A couple things that ought to be done in order to actually expand the application of renewable tax credits. One is, right now these tax credits are only usable by those with large amounts of offsetting income, so we're talking about large utilities. That's why large utilities are buying up all of the wind power projects and solar projects. I'd like to see these projects, once they're up and running, to maintain to be owned by a number of private developers, rather than having hundreds or thousands of wind and solar and biomass renewable energy projects around the country owned by essentially 4 large utilities because of the tax credit. I'd like to see the credit amended in a way so that those thousands of projects could be owned by thousands of developers and owners. That creates more power in the marketplace and a greater race to efficiency in creating cleaner and newer and the next cutting edge generation of renewable technologies. So yeah, absolutely, I'm a big fan of renewable energy and think that the renewable energy tax credits ought to be sustained and continued. And you know, when it comes to paying for those, it is a function of the economy. The more people, the more entities, the more corporate taxpayers that we can get into the business of being involved in this new and emerging economy, the more revenue they will create for the federal government. So we actually pay for the credits up front, or long term. The credits are applied up front and they're paid for long term by growing production and productivity in the American economy. Thanks for asking your question. Oh, and by the way, go visit our website at www.bobschafferforsenate.com. You can see a side-by-side comparison of Mark Udall's votes to drive up the cost of energy in America and make it more expensive for us to produce energy in the United States, and my votes to drive down the cost of energy prices in the United States. You also find out I'm far more of a more aggressive and have a more robust approach to renewable energy than the other guy does. Thanks again for asking your question.